name's Jargon. Welcome back to my channel. This video is very much going to be a basic video. We're going to step back a bit. So any guys out there, you know what an Ethernet cable and printer cable is, then you can sort of skip on a little bit, maybe. But this is really to sort of people out there don't understand what Ethernet cable is, because you can get confused between an Ethernet cable and a phone cable. So I want to sort of show you how to identify it, and I also want to sort of show you how to look for things on the back of laptops, what ports they have, or PC. So we've got three different things here today we can show you. I've got a PC that I actually built. I've got a PC that's actually been purchased quite a few years ago. It's about a two-year-old PC, so we can show you what's on that. And I also brought a laptop, which I've done a review before in the post, which I'll put a link up here for you, which can show you what's on there as well. Because not all laptops have Ethernet cables on, so you might have to rely on wireless only. Some common questions that come up on my channel about people plugging into their router, but not obviously be able to identify what they need and what cables they need as well. Because again, a lot of home users that got PCs don't know all the technical terms, can get fused. I've even got friends that speak to me as well and say, you know, I'm trying to plug in this, but it's not plugging into it, and obviously using the wrong cable, and they don't understand what the cables are. So this is a video just to go through that. So if you guys that know all this, then you can just sort of whiz on, or maybe choose another video that I've got, because it's got a very basics. And I want this channel to be more a channel people can understand, they can learn from as well. So hopefully it's quite be informative to you guys. If so, comment below. I can keep improving on these videos and keep making videos that you guys want to watch and see and learn from. And if you guys out there are quite advanced, sort of my levels or above, and I've got things wrong, please comment below and correct me, because when I'm actually doing a video, sometimes I make mistakes. I don't say the right thing at the right time, and sometimes when I play them back, I don't actually realise, oh, you know, I shouldn't have said that because it was wrong or correct. So please do let me know if I'm mentioning it wrong, and I'm happy to sort it out. And plus, I'm learning all the time. IT is a type of sort of environment. It's changing day to day. You know, new things are coming out, and I don't actually always know all the answers, but I know pretty well because I've been in IT for over 20 years. I run my own IT company, so I'm going to get all my knowledge that I learn out to you guys. So anybody, if I am slightly incorrect with something, please let me know. This is how I learn to make better videos. So let's crack on. And have a look, see what I've got. A number of things here we're going to take a look at today is so we can identify what's what. These are what you've probably seen in my video so far. I'll put a video link, up there to the videos I'm doing anyway. So the TP links, they're the Wi-Fi extenders that you can plug into your plug sockets in the house and extend the wireless access around the house, or extend another cable in the room. So it saves cabling the house up. So these will save you a lot of time and effort, and these are quite common now in households, and I use these quite a bit as well if I need to actually put either a wireless extender in one room, or I need an actual port physically connected into a PC or Mac, so that this saves me laying cables down as well. So we'll talk about these. We've got a PC that I built. Again, that's on my channel. So this is one I actually gone through stages of building up. So on here we can identify what's on the back of the ports wise as well. We're going to take a close look at the Acer. It's I think it's about 2 or 3 years old. This came with Vista home install, so it is quite some years old. So again, I wanted to sort of show you what's on the back of here, because you may have an old PC, you may have a new PC. So if you're trying to plug an Ethernet port into it, you know, you'll be able to identify whether they are on those type of old units and stuff. And we've also got a quite current, newish laptop on the market, which again I did a video on that review. And this on here, this one don't typically have an actual Ethernet port, so you have to rely on wireless. But we'll have a closer look at this. And we've got some cables here for you guys to show you. So I just want to show you a typical type of USB ports and what they're commonly used for as well. And obviously what an Ethernet RJ, commonly known as an Rj45 cable, looks like as well. So we'll get up close with that as well. So there are a couple of things here I've got. So we'll take a close look, and so you guys can actually identify what's what. Right, common things we have on today is like USB extender ports. So that's a USB cable. So this cable here is what you'll plug in the back of your PC or Mac. And this unit here will extend your ports, so that gives you USB ports. This one actually does USB 3 ports on here as well. So the common cable, which looks like this, it's very much a USB cable that always will go back into a PC, laptop, back of a Mac. And this particular unit will extend your USB ports. So that's what USB ports look like. They're very standard ports on all devices. And then you've got things like USB cables. So this one here is a particular USB cable. So again, standard. This is a very standard connector end, USB connector. And this is then, again, another common one, because this one converts from a big standard USB down into a smaller version of the USB, which then will be found in portable devices like mobile phones, tablets, cameras, and so forth. There is different flavors of this connector here, which can become a little bit smaller, again depending on the device you purchase or buy. Mobile phone cameras, so mobile phones, tablets, other cameras and stuff will have different various sizes on here, but this is always common because this is what you'll plug into your PC or phone charger these days. This is a very standard USB cable, basically. So that's that one. Then we've got the next common one, which is very much well known with the Apple devices, and that's the sort of the Lightning charger thing. Again, standard USB this end, exactly the same. And this end here is what you put into your Apple tablet, iPhone, okay? And if you're using quadcopter, this can be what you plug into this. Again, standard, everything's standard, even on quadcopter. If you've got a quadcopter like a DJI Phantom, they have these standard now on their remote controller for the tablets and Apple devices to control it. So it's common on all sorts of things now, not just home PC stuff. And if it just can show you comparing, all comes in different shapes and colors, but again, they're all exactly identical as a standard common plug adapter. If I sort of turn it around, you can see they are exactly the same. Nothing in size or changes. This is always standard. Okay, so that's the Apple cable. And then we've got another particular cable which we can identify, again common. This is off a GoPro. So on the GoPro has a USB, so this end will plug into the GoPro, that end will plug into the charger or plug into the PC, so I can download the footage off of it. Again, you can see there's a different type size on this one. These ends always change. So if I show you, compare that against when I showed earlier, you can see, again, these ends will change depending on the device you have. But when it goes into the back of a PC or a charger device, this is very common, okay? I haven't got a USB print cable because they have, again, this on the end of it, standard, but on the other end, it's a very big but square looking one, which is a bit smaller than this one, which is a standard printer cable one. But I haven't got one to hand to show you, okay? So that's the USB type cables. And then when we talk about Ethernet cable, internet cable, or how you want to sort of word it, this is what it is. It's an Rj45. So the Rj45 is in particular what this end piece is called here. And an Rj11, which is smaller than this, but in the sort of same, it's squarer, smaller, which is what you find in a phone socket, plugs into the phone socket. But this is common in PC environments. This is what you call an Ethernet cable. It's also known as an Rj45 cable. Okay, that's it. It's not a USB cable. This is literally an Ethernet cable. Comes in all shapes and colors and sizes, but the ends, as you can see here, are actually identical at both ends. Okay, so if you've got a cable like this with both ends exactly the same as each other, you've got an Rj45 or an Ethernet cable. This is common in laptops, PCs, routers, internet devices, and as you can see on these common wireless boxes that we've been talking about on the channel, again, that's the Ethernet port on here that you'll plug into. So as you can see, it fits in. Only goes one way round. That's an Ethernet port. On these wireless devices, this is the one that actually plugs into the router. You can tell the reason why it's smaller than the actual extender. So this one on the right hand side will go into any room in the house. This one will plug near your router, okay? Because this will have to attach all the wireless extended devices that use power lines will always attach to your router via the actual Ethernet port. Okay, these don't come with USB cables. They're always fitted with an Ethernet port that plugs into your router. Okay, and then the internet will travel down through the plug, over your power line, to the actual extended one here, down through the plug and into the box. This one here, if you buy them as a pack like I've got here, because they come with a pack of 2, then you'll always find there's a Wi-Fi connect module inside this, and you can tell by this because it will have Wi-Fi on it written like that, as you can see by my thumb. And there's also there's a little light there that represents the actual wireless broadcasting, so when that's on, it's broadcasting. These also come with, some come with 2 Ethernet ports, some come with 1 Ethernet port. You can use both and Wi-Fi at exactly the same time as well. So if you've got 2 PCs upstairs, you want to plug into a cable, or you've got a PlayStation, you've got an Xbox One, you can plug each one into one of those, and you can use the Wi-Fi here for devices like your iPhone, tablets, and your laptop as well. Okay, so that's that. Now, if we get around to the laptop, so this particular laptop I brought and done a review on. It's a portable compact laptop. It comes with an SS drive, so it's very much designed for home shopping, homework, internet surfing, but it doesn't come with a lot of storage, so it's not designed for gaming and things like that. So on here it's very limited. So on this laptop here particularly, it's only got a HDMI port which plugs into a telly. You've got the standard USB port that we talked about with the cable like this, it plugs into, so it goes, again, only goes one way round, nice and easy. And then I've got various other ports like headphones, micro SD card, okay? And if you look around on the laptop to the other side, again, it's got 2 more USB ports. Doesn't have an Ethernet port, so you can't plug this cable into this laptop, okay? If you look at your laptops, because older laptops and newer ones that are not these type of style, somewhere along the line, down the side, or around the back, or the other side will have an Ethernet port. And you'll know if you've got one because the Ethernet port is always the same size, which is like this, okay, exactly the same size. So it'll be one of these here that you'll identify because it'll be actually on somewhere on the laptop here. So if you've not got one on your laptop, don't worry, it means it hasn't got one installed. So you may have to rely on the built-in wireless ones. All laptops come with Wi-Fi standard, and all laptops, well, majority of laptops will come with an Ethernet port built in, but this particular one, because it's lightweight, thin line, they've not actually installed it. So I would have to use Wi-Fi all the time on this one here. So that's the laptop. So do check your laptop and have a look, and you can identify it with this. This is the port it looks like. Okay, it's standard. It's not smaller, it is this size. If you do find an older laptop, they tend to have this port on there and a smaller version of this, which is what you call the RJ11. So that basically means you've got a built-in modem, but that's in the very, very old ones. It's got to be at least 3 years old plus, because you don't get built-in modems anymore in laptops. It's all Ethernet or Wi-Fi these days, okay? So this is a PC that I've had for quite a number of years, and it's got to be 3 years old, maybe older. I don't exactly 100% know the age, but I wanted to particularly show you this because on the back of here you can actually see the standard ports that come with it. This has Wi-Fi built into it, and then on the back of it you got your power, you got your VGA monitor, you have the HDMI. So this will plug into a normal HDMI telly. Ethernet port. Okay, as you can see, they are very, very always the same. Identical, same size and shape, okay? And if you can see this logo here, and I'll put up on the video as well, this is what you can identify. This is the common logo to say this is an Ethernet Rj45 port, okay? Then here, common on here is USB ports again, common again. So this one has 4 on here, and on the top of this one it also has additional one on here, which obviously got my keyboard wireless module plugged into it. Okay, again, as you can see, they're all common, exactly the same. You can't get it wrong. So if you do get a cable like this, you know exactly which way to plug in on it, because it won't plug on the small one, because that always goes to the other device. That always goes to the PC, Mac, laptop. Okay. So this is a very old one. You can't really identify whether this has Wi-Fi built in, because sometimes they might have a sticker on here that sort of tells you this is a multiple SSD card reader, microphone and headphones, and CETA. We'll go into CETA because that's very much a more advanced type thing, but we'll talk about that to do with external hard drives and stuff. Again, labels on here will always show on a PC, particular PC, where it's come pre-built OEM they call it, which is all pre-installed. They normally have markings on here to tell you whether it has Wi-Fi built in or not, and it'll have a label for it. But this particular label doesn't show it. Normally they do. They normally address it what's actually on here, but this one is actually not showing whether it has got one or not. I've got a sticky label at the bottom here, but it's not actually showing. But this one, I know this one has built-in Wi-Fi anyway, because when you boot it up, it actually shows you on screen what to connect to. So that's it. So that's the very old PC. So do have a look at your PC and have a look at what's on the back and compare it with this video. This is a piece I recently built, so this will have common parts that's now come standard on any PC you buy or purchase. So this is not even a year old, it's probably less than a month old, so it's all brand new. So this is to give you the common type things. You've got very old PS port, which it used to be for the old keyboards. Every keyboard now you buy is more USB now. 2 USB ports here, as you can see I've got my Logitech mouse dongle in there. This is the Wi-Fi module that's built into this. This is the ports to plug into the area I haven't got installed. This is another way of connecting to a monitor, which is called DVI. Then we've got 2 HDMI ports here for normal standard telly. So if you've got a home flat screen at home watching TV on, it will have one of these ports, or 2, maybe your ports on there, so you can plug your PC straight into it. So you don't have to have a particular monitor. This comes with 4 USB 3 ports. You can identify the USB, whether it's USB 2 or USB 3, by they tend to put a blue color on this port here to say this is a USB 3. If it wasn't, it will be like a black color basically. And sometimes they will do the cables as well. On the cables here, sometimes if it's a USB 3 cable, they will mark it on like a blue instead of white. Commonly it's white or black. Okay, so we can show that, because on here it actually shows here these are standard USB 2 ports. See, they're black, and on here these ones here it actually says it as well. These are USB 3 ports as well, so different colors. Then on here we've got 2 standard Ethernet ports. Again, as you can see, we can compare that with the Wi-Fi module here. You can see they're exactly the same. They're standard, okay? And as you can see, just above them have little markings like this to represent their Ethernet Rj45 ports, okay? Then here we've got various sound ports for sound card, output, inputs, and obviously the optical out for sound as well. Then we've got the kettle socket here for power. Very straightforward. Okay, and on this particular case, again, on any PC, if you look around on the side, above and below, you might find additional ports as well. In this particular case, I've got a mic and headphone socket, the on and reset button as well here. Got 2 more USB 3 ports, again, look, markings with this sort of blue color here, and obviously on a hard drive light as well. So that's very common standards. I'm hoping this video is quite useful for you guys to identify what's what and how to identify what a USB port and an Ethernet port is. Okay, let's quickly talk about the routers, because people have been talking about on my channel about routers. What do I plug in my routers? So particularly on this one, most common in the UK are BT routers. You may have a different device if you're with Sky or various other type of ISPs, but BT, I'm with BT, so this is my BT router. Okay, so it's very standard on the back of the router, and all routers tend to be very common as well. They come with at least 4 ports, what we call 4 Ethernet ports. Again, there's that marking on there to identify that it's an Ethernet. This is a gigabit. Gigabit is the speed of the ports. Okay, so don't get too confused with that. It doesn't actually represent the type of port. It actually says it's gigabit, which is the speed. It's Ethernet. This is actually classed as an Ethernet, Rj45 Ethernet port, or Rj45 Ethernet cable, depends how you want to put it. So there's 4 on here. The 5th one, which is always marked by red. So if you've got another way of connecting in, not by phone cable, then you probably have a different box. You use a WAN port, but normally in home network, this is normally ignored. Okay. Got USB port on there. See, this has USB. The reason why this router has USB on it, it's not for you to connect your PC to, it's actually for connect a printer, so you can share your printer over the network. So if you want people to be able to log on to your printer, and in other cases they tend to put USB ports on routers, is for adding an external hard drive to it, so you can actually share the hard drive out with other users on your home network. This is not used for a PC to plug into, to program it, or to get internet off of it. This is very much for an external device like a printer or a storage device like an external hard drive. So please don't get confused. So when you want to connect your laptop and you've got this port on the back of your laptop, and you've got one on for your Wi-Fi extender, these are the ports you need to connect it to, not the USB port. So any questions you send to me, guys, again, just ignore. USB is not what you use to connect to the internet with on your router. Okay, so just forget that port, forget that one. We're only interested in these and the Wi-Fi. On the routers, I've also got the power socket here. On the BT router, we have what we call a DSL port. This is the port I was talking about. They're slightly smaller than the RJ. As you can see, it's slightly smaller, slightly more narrow than that one. So that's RJ45, and this is what we call the RJ11 port. Okay, this is the phone connectors port, which you'll plug straight into your phone line. This is where the internet comes down to this router, how it gets it, by the RJ11 cable here. So on the B2 router end, you'll have what we call a filter. That will have another RJ45 port, so your cable will connect to that, connects to your filter. Then on the back of your filter, you have a different port that plugs into your standard BT phone socket. Okay, and sometimes BT installs filters built into your socket itself, so you'll have RJ11 to RJ11, so you go from router straight to your actual phone socket. Okay, Ethernet, RJ11, RJ45, RJ11. So I did there how you identify it. You can see they are very similar, but they'll see that's narrower, that's wider. Again, they color code these, so you've got grey, RJ45, yellow always seems to be a standard color for Ethernet. And it's only red because red identifies as a WAN port. That's completely different to this one here. So I would ignore that. I would ignore the USB on it unless you want to plug in a USB hard drive and share it out between your users on your network or on your home network and stuff. So I hope this is formed. So basically, just quickly go over common questions here. So that's the router. So if you've got your Wi-Fi extender box, as we got here, this one, which is the big one, will go into a room that you need to get wireless to, or whether you want to plug a PC into it. This will plug into near your router, in a power socket near your router. You'll take the RJ45 Ethernet cable, plug it into the bottom of your module. This doesn't have Wi-Fi on it. This is just literally an extender. It takes the signal from this cable from your router down through the socket, then sends the internet to this socket, which goes into whatever room you want to plug it into. If you want to buy more than one of these to fit into different rooms, then you can buy these separately and you can bind them together as a whole network. Okay, so this is what we call the master. I call it the master plug. So plug that into the socket that's near your router. So long as you've got a long enough Ethernet cable, as we've got here, a nice long one here, you can plug that straight into your yellow port on your router. And I always mark them up as 1 to 4. So whatever one's free on the back of your router, plug that in there. That one's plugged into your module. And when this is all powered up in the other room, your lights will flicker on here saying you've got a connection. So as long as they've got the binding lights, the Ethernet light's on, which tells you whether they've got one plugged in here. If the Ethernet light's not on here, it means you've not got one connected on the bottom of here, and you can go ahead and use the Wi-Fi on here for your other devices. So hopefully that clears up some of the questions that keep coming through, you guys. So this is how you actually do it, through the Ethernet port. Forget USB, because USB is not a way of connecting internet to your laptop or a device. It's always the Ethernet cable or the Wi-Fi module, which in this case is this one here. And I know with the BT routers, very quickly, so it's not too long this video, this will come with one Wi-Fi signal. So it will be on the back of here. All the routers tend to have a printed thing on here saying what your wireless SSID number is. So this will advertise as the BT Hub 5 and a number. Yours might be slightly different. Then you have the wireless key here. So if you program up your wireless on here to match these key and this SSID number, then they will all act as one network. So you won't have to tell people what the details are on here, because these will come separate, configured on the bottom of there, saying what this is one set up to. But you can change that to be exactly the same as this. So that basically means you only need one SSID, one password for all your devices. And if you roam around the house, all right, and you don't have to have multiple profiles set up in your device. It will just literally connect to the nearest signal around the house. So that makes it nice and easy. Otherwise, if you go downstairs, and the way the wireless works is on a mobile device like an iPhone, for instance, it always connects to the nearest, strongest signal. So if you've got this in your upstairs room, you've got this in your downstairs, downstairs. As you walk upstairs, and you've got both profiles set up, they will switch over automatically to the next one. But if you just want one key for everything, so just make sure all your wired devices are set up with the same key SSID number, so that way it will roam around the house, so you won't get a dropout or disconnection and stuff. So it makes it nice and easy as well. So we'll do some tutorials on how to configure these to match the same as your router password and stuff like that. So there we have it. Router, wireless master, and your extender, repeater, or as they identify. Ethernet ports, USB, and hopefully we're sorted. Hope this has been useful and actually helps you to identify what your cables are, and now know how to connect your devices to your Wi-Fi extenders, or how you want to connect it to as well. If you're not quite sure and you're still stuck, watch this video a couple of times. Again, if you're still stuck and you can't get something connected and you are connecting it correctly with this video, use it as a sort of a guide, then I'm happy to either FaceTime you guys. If you've got an iPhone, I'm happy to FaceTime you so you can show me on your phone what you're trying to achieve and do, and happy to do that. If you find all my information useful, please remember to donate. I'll get a donation link up for you guys, and I'll carry on helping to support you. I'm happy to do one-to-one technical advice, so long as you're happy to donate some money while you're doing it. I'm happy to remote control your PC to sort issues, software problems out. So just let me know. Again, as long as you donate, then I'm happy to do it. So you don't have to so you don't feel like you're getting stuck. I can remote control any PC around the world, so long as you set up the right connection at your end. It's secure. Once I finish the session, it ends, so I can't connect back onto it. So it's nice and safe for you guys. Again, so long as you donate some money towards this channel, which all helps towards making me better videos. Again, if there's a particular something you've got that's unique and I haven't covered yet, please comment below to let me know what it is, and I'll create some more videos. I want to create videos on absolutely everything I can get, so these become very good, useful guides for you guys to use on a daily basis. All my videos will stay online, so you can refer back to them and keep watching as well. So remember, guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed now. Sorry, it's actually down. Get it right. It's down here. So my subscribe button's always down here. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Put thumbs up on the video. Share this video out to all family and friends. Put it through Facebook, Twitter. Just share it to everybody. And on any of my videos you find useful, please always comment. If you've got something you want to say or a question you want to ask, comment. I'm going to set up an email address soon so you guys can send it to one location. I can prioritize it and go through. If it wants a video, I'll create a video. If it wants a quick question reply back, I'll do that. So you guys feel that you've got somebody out there that's going to actually help you. Again, you guys, if you're listening, I've made some mistakes on the video. Comment below so I can learn from it, so I can make sure that I actually do cover stuff. Because I always do a video and think after I published it, I think, oh, I've missed out, or should have said that, or should have said this. But I'm learning, because being on video is quite different to actually being with somebody and talking about it than it is actually talking to somebody on a video camera. It's a bit more difficult. So I want to get it right and make this channel very useful for you guys to keep watching on as well. So thanks again for watching. Remember, hit the subscribe button, like button, and any questions, comment below, and see you on the next video. Cheers.